Hey guys, Cindy Williams here, the Travel Career Coach. So you want to be a travel agent? Yay! Congratulations. This is the excitement phase. You're researching, you know you're passionate about travel, you love travel, and you're like, let me make this my career. How do I find out how to do this? So today's video is about 3 easy steps that you need to know in order to start your adventure becoming a travel agent. Guys, I started way back in 1993. That's a long time. I've seen lots of evolutions of the travel industry, trained over 1,000 travel agents, and today I run a program called Careers on Vacation that teaches people how to go A to Z to start their own portable, profitable travel agencies. Check that out later for sure. careersonvacation.com is our website. I also have a free masterclass, careersonvacation.com/masterclass, where you can, it's free right now, I'm not promising it will be available forever, where I go in way more detail and way more depth, but today's just a quick little video to kind of show you the outline and the process to becoming a travel agent. So first you need to learn how to book travel. How do you get set up to even do that, to become an online at-home travel agent? There's actually several ways you can start booking travel. First is, if you have some experience or you used to work as a travel agent or worked in the industry in a different capacity and you have some skill sets already in the industry, you can register to become your own independent travel agent. And a lot of the reasons people with experience like to do that is because they don't have to share their commission. They can get 100% of their commission. They don't have to share it. Which brings me to the second option. You may have heard of it. It's called hosting. What a travel host will do is, in exchange for you using their credentials, like their IATAN card or their CLIA number or their true number, in exchange for using those numbers, and because they're already set up with all the travel suppliers, they say, hey, you can host under us. Here's the numbers that you do to book travel. We will collect the commission and then pay you a portion. It's called a split, a commission split. And I will tell you, industry standard is around 70-30. If you are not at 70, you're probably giving too much of your commission away if you're watching this video and you're already an agent. But if you haven't even started yet, you really want to look to make 70, 80, even 90% of your commission. And all hosts work differently. There's also great ones that are out there, and there's ones that are not so great. Which brings me to my last point. And this is the part that frustrates me so much, because this didn't used to exist in the travel industry, but there are some MLM, multi-level marketing outfits, that the name of the game is, if you recruit for us and get more people that want to be travel agents, we'll pay you a recruiting fee. So you want to avoid that type of setup unless you really are passionate about recruiting. Like, there's nothing illegal about an MLM, but generally they're not really in a place where they're going to be supporting you to be a real bona fide travel agent. So watch for that. Usually they have higher monthly fees. Usually they're asking you, oh, you can make bonuses, or we have incentives, or we'll send you on trips. Look, if you want to be a recruiter, great. You can recruit for them, or you can go be a recruiter and make 70, 80 grand a year for any major company. If you want to be a real travel agent, I really suggest hosting for brand new ones, or if you have some experience, possibly going independent. It just depends on your experience level. And in my masterclass, we go into way more depth on the pros and cons, so you can kind of figure out what the best fit is for you. So after you figure out how you're going to sell, whether it's a host or an independent, if you go independent, you're going to have to set yourself up with all the travel suppliers. If you're with a host, then they will have everything set up. You'll get usernames and passwords, and there are a whole bunch of different ways that you can train. Which brings me to my next point, and the second thing that you need to do in this process is decide what you're going to sell. You cannot sell the entire world. You are doing a disservice to your clients if you say, I'm going to take every call, I'm going to try to make every booking, because you cannot be an Australia expert, an Asia expert, a Europe expert, a river cruises expert, a Disney expert. Look, I've been doing this 20 years and I sell almost the whole world, but there's still areas where I turn those leads over to colleagues in the industry because I don't have an interest in selling certain areas. So I would be doing my clients a disservice if I try to put them together an amazing trip that they want to go somewhere that I really am not that passionate about and haven't done the work I need to do as an agent growing. It doesn't mean you can't expand your catalog year after year. There's nothing wrong with that. But you want to start with, what are the areas I I've been to? What are the areas I'm passionate about selling? What are the things that I think would be easy for me to sell? When I work with my clients in Careers on Vacation, we sit down on the first call and we figure out what they're passionate about, where they've traveled to, and I'll tell them, here's what's going to be most profitable, here's what's not really profitable, here, and then we come up with kind of a training plan for what they need to do from A to Z to get their first list of offerings in that year one catalog, if you will, for what they're going to sell, so it doesn't overwhelm them. If you get a call for a safari in Africa and you've never done that, that could take 3 to 4 weeks of research to really do it justice, when if you know Disney backwards and forwards, you could have made 5 or 6 sales for Disney in the time that it took you to research a safari that you may or may not sell because you're not that confident about it. So again, I go into way more detail in our masterclass, so check that out. But you have to decide what you're going to sell. Keep it to, 2 to 5 things, depending on what your travel experience is. And also give yourself credit for travel experience. If you're a lifelong traveler, you've been places. It's just a matter of learning the suppliers and putting your training plan together. So deciding what you're going to sell. And the last and really important thing, and this is where so many people go wrong. They get really, really excited. I'm going to be a travel agent. I'm going to do all this cool stuff. I've heard about all these benefits, and it's really, really exciting. They pick a name. They get their LLC. Maybe they get with a host, maybe whatever they're going to do. And then they're like, okay, I'm open. And then no leads are coming in because they haven't done this third step, the most important step, which is understand you need to know how to operate an online business in today's marketplace. Cindy, what the heck does that mean? It means it's not like travel agents in 1984 where people are going to walk through your door because they see a pretty picture of a cruise on your window. You don't have a storefront. What's going to be your storefront in this new online world? Knowing how to market, knowing how to automate, knowing how to monetize your business, knowing how to grow your clientele, knowing how to reach your clientele in today's marketplace, right? It used to be put up the poster, send a couple emails. That's not working, guys, for building big businesses, which is what we really coach and work with our clients on. So how are you going to put your marketing together? How are you going to put your branding together? How are you going to target, retarget, build your list, grow that business in year one, and really scale your business? Even if you're doing it as a hobby, you should be doing these things. A lot of people come to me because they're like, Cindy, I've been running this as a hobby 5, 6, 7 years. I'm only selling 500,000-600,000 a year. I want to get to $1 million or $2 million so I can quit my job and do this full time. And it's never because they're not a great travel agent, right? You can be the best travel agent in the world, but if you're not getting calls, your business is out of business. You don't have a business. So they come to me to figure out, how do I run this online business? Because the problem is not being a great travel agent. The problem is lead flow. That's it. Lead flow, or their marketing, or they're getting a bunch of tire kickers because they're getting the wrong people through their marketing funnels. So the third piece is understand this is not, guys, just about being a travel agent. It's also about being a business owner, specifically running your business in the online space. So if you go into it knowing that, and listen, don't let this overwhelm you. This is very doable stuff. Yes, it's a lot to learn. If you try to go it alone, it can be super frustrating. It can take you way more years than it needs to. But that's why we have Careers on Vacation. And that's why we have the free resource of the masterclass to kind of start you on your path. Having that A to Z, there wasn't really anything out there like that in the industry, which is why I put the program together. So people have an opportunity to work with me directly in a mastermind format where you can learn how to do these things from A to Z. And in a matter of weeks, you have an up and running operational business generating leads, which is amazing. So guys, I hope this video has been helpful for you as your journey. I want to tell you, this is such an amazing industry. I've traveled to so many countries. I've been on hundreds of trips. I've trained thousands of travel agents in my career. I love travel. I eat, breathe, sleep travel. I'm so passionate about it. And my desire, my purpose in life is to inspire and motivate people to follow their bliss into abundance. So I want you to continue on your path in the travel industry. If what I'm saying resonates for you, click the link below and request a call with my team. Find out a little bit more about the Careers on Vacation program, and we will help you on your path to getting bigger and better and getting your own travel business, your own portable, profitable travel business that you can run from home or while you're traveling the world. I love you guys so much, so much love and abundance. Don't forget to like and subscribe and ring the notification bell if you're watching this video on YouTube so you get our new free content that we put out regularly. Bye, guys. guys, Cindy Williams here, travel career coach. We're outside on location today. I'm hoping you can hear me okay. It's a little bit windy, but it's so pretty, so I wanted to be kind of like out here in the elements. So I have my nice little microphone, so hopefully it's going to cut down on some of the wind noise. How was your Thanksgiving? Everyone's coming back from the holiday and all the craziness, and I'm sure all of you guys have fun stories. I'd love to hear when everyone woke up from their turkey coma. Was it Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday? So today, I was kind of like struggling with what I wanted to talk about this week, because we're in holiday season, craziness is upon us, everyone's starting to think about the new year. So what I like to do, we get, a ton of emails, questions, things like that on a regular basis, and it kind of gives me a gauge on how people are feeling, the questions they have, and I also follow a ton of feeds and different pages so I can kind of understand, what are the needs out there in terms of where we can best support you and where we can help you. So if you guys are tuning in, just click a little hi or hello. I'd love to know that you're here. I'm actually live in Facebook today, so I can actually see your comments. Hey, Shannon. Good morning. Isn't it pretty here in Austin? So nice, right? We're going to talk about the magic of mindset today and just have some really cool things and some beliefs and challenging some of your beliefs to make sure none of them are holding you back. So if you guys are joining us for the first time, my name's Cindy Williams. I'm known as the travel career coach. I started in the travel industry in the 90s, like straight out of high school. And I love what I do. My mission is to help motivate and inspire people to follow their bliss into abundance. And the into abundance piece is really important, because you can follow your bliss all day long, but if it doesn't feed your family, that's where it becomes tough, right? So that's my mission in life. So today I focus on helping people transform their travel businesses into portable, profitable agencies. And I love coffee mugs, so I always like to share a coffee mug while we're waiting for everyone to kind of log in. So I have the cutest little Christmas one. Hey, Sharon, good to see you. Isn't this cute? I think Glitterville. This is not a sponsored ad, but I love Glitterville. In fact, you know what? This is so funny. I didn't plan to talk about this. I have all these crazy notes because I furiously write everything down when I'm passionate about a topic, about what I want to share with you guys. But this is funny that I grabbed this mug to talk about today, because we're going to talk about the power of marketing. So I'm going to use this scenario later, but isn't it cute? So amazing. So I have a set of 4, 2 in green, 2 in pink. So I love coffee mugs. But I wanted to talk about a post that I saw this week, okay? And look, there's lots of stuff that you guys know. You go on and like, hey, what is it? You ask for advice on a post, and, some people are very well-meaning. And I think in this particular case, this woman was struggling with her travel business, and she was like, I've been trying for like 6 months, nothing is happening, I'm frustrated, I'm just not getting leads. And then someone had kind of chimed in, and again, very well-meaning, trying to encourage this person, and she said, look, these businesses take 3 to 5 years because they're really referral based, and that's how you build a solid business. So you have to be patient, and just know that that's the way that it works. So again, I'm sure that's based on her experience and what she's built her business on, and maybe she has an amazing, great business that she built through referrals. So that's awesome. But I want to be careful about that belief, because it doesn't take 3 to 5 years for everybody, and it doesn't have to be the path. There's different ways to achieve it. So first of all, referrals are gold. Like, no one's going to dispute that. The studies show, like, you guys can pull the studies, all the data on an annual basis, referrals are going to close 2 to 3 times faster because it's a referral. Just like if you're getting your hair done, you're like, oh, go to her, this person's amazing. You're going to book an appointment because your trusted friend who has great hair, uses a certain hairstylist. So I'm not disputing the power of referrals. It should always be a key part of your business. In fact, we train that in our program, how to foster that referral relationship and make it even bigger and better. So no one's here to dispute that fact. Referrals are amazing. But I want to talk about what real businesses do. Take travel businesses off of the map, because we're going to dive into that in a second. Do you think that real businesses sit back and wait for you to be referred to them? And we're coming off of the perfect scenario for this, right? We just came off of Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, Cyber Monday. Think about what you purchased. Was everything that you purchased, did it come by way of a referral, a friend referral, or a family referral? Every single thing that you purchased. No, right? Because they marketed you at some point, guys. They either retargeted you because you were a past client. They either got to your kids somehow in marketing, YouTube Kids, one of the millions of ways, TV commercials, right? You were marketed. That's what real businesses do. Whether you're a service business or you are a, toy retailer or whatever, you get marketed to, okay? So, like, I didn't plan on talking about this cup, but this little cool place called Glitterville, I had originally seen it on Oprah's Favorite Things. And it wasn't this cup. It was like a set of plates that I thought, oh my gosh, those plates are so cute. So what did I do? I went to their website. I poked around. I looked at their stuff. They did the cookies thing, and they can see I'm on their website. I registered my email. And what did they do? They retargeted me until I bought something from them. And that's why I have this mug right here today. So it's so funny. I didn't even plan on talking about that. But what a perfect example. How many of you guys see the stuff that pops up on Facebook around your birthday, right? And it's a shirt that says, like, 1974, vintage gypsy, or birthday girl, or birthday guy, or how do you think they're doing that? They're using Facebook ads that target an income level, a birthday in that particular month level, maybe even a region of the country. All of the stuff is in your Facebook settings. Like, a lot of people don't know that. So that's a part, it's just retargeting, it's just marketing. So knowing these things and how real companies target and market, why can you not apply that same process to a travel business? Right? So that's where that belief becomes a little, I want to challenge that belief, right? Because I mean, we work with companies every day that are doing amazing things, but they're also running their travel business like, a business versus kind of a hobby. So it becomes a dangerous belief if you adopt it. And it will take forever. Like, if you sit back and, I don't know about you, but I have zero patience. Like, if I need help with something, whether it's a new technology, a new marketing, a new whatever, something for the house, I'm going to go and find out what I need to do to get help to kind of move myself forward faster, because I don't have time to mess around. Like, you can make more, this other secret too, you can make more money. You can't make more time. You can never, ever, ever make more time. Your time is actually your most precious commodity. So let that sit with you a second. I don't have the patience to wait for a business to work for 3 years because my family will starve, right? Most of you don't. And look, some people do their business their travel business as a hobby or a side thing. There's no judgment. If that's how you want to do it, you do something else for your, waiting for this giant dump truck to drive by. If you do something for your main job, no judgment. But I'm specifically talking to people who want to really do their travel business big and they want it to move faster, right? So if you adopt that belief of it's only can be built through referrals, the other thing that becomes dangerous is you don't really try anything else, right? If you adopt that belief and believe that to be true in 100%, then that's one of those things where you don't try anything else. You don't do anything else. So keep that in mind. Of course, nothing else is going to work if you're not trying anything else. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't make. The other thing is, most clients that come to our program, a lot of people out there, and again, some are running hobbies, and that's totally fine. But the reason that that's a common belief in our industry is because people are running their businesses like hobbies and not like businesses. They're not applying the marketing techniques. They're not applying the automation. They're not applying all of the things available that real, robust, big businesses have access to, or even medium and small size businesses. Smart, medium, and small size businesses of every industry know that you have to be relevant in the online space. So if you don't adopt those strategies to your travel business, that's where you get stuck in that belief of, oh, it's all referrals. I just have to count on referrals. Let me just sit back and kind of hang out. Hey, Natalie, there's one of my top salespeople right there, Miss Natalie on my Tripsy team. Hey, Stephanie, good to see you. Good morning. Looks cool there today. It is cool, but it's so beautiful outside. I just couldn't not be out here. So awesome. So we've talked about, that belief. And I want to, I want to just say that if you treat your business like a hobby, but you don't want it to be a hobby, it's going to perform like a hobby, right? You treat it like a hobby, it will perform like a hobby. So just know that. It's not like a surprise, but if you really want to grow faster in a short amount of time, then you just have to start running it like a business, guys. You just have to either get the help that you need or do some things differently. Adapt a new belief is really big, though. That's why we're talking about the magic of mindset. So, you know, a couple of my clients come to mind. Jody, Kim, Jen, Becky, if any of you are watching, whether it's replay or not, those were all people in my program recently that they were like, they got to a point where they were like either stuck or at a plateau or didn't know how to move forward. And the messaging of what we do was like, you know, I want to run it like a business, right? So instead of adopting and accepting and leaving that belief of, you know, this is as far as I can get, let me just kind of sit here, they decided to adopt a new belief, right? They decided to adopt a new belief of, I'm capable of more, my business can do more, let's see where I can take this. And they took action to make changes in their business. So, and the only reason I don't share those things to brag, guys, I share them because I want you to understand what's possible in our industry, and I want you to be inspired by that. Like, you mean I don't have to wait 3 years, and I don't have to, you know, be stuck, and it doesn't always have to be a hobby. I can actually run my business full-time from home. You know, we had a super exciting weekend at our house. We actually signed a contract to build here in Austin our dream home on the side of a hill, and I'm so excited about it. But that project is 100% financed by my travel businesses. So it can be done, right? My husband doesn't have he's not a doctor or a lawyer. He works 100% of the time in our travel businesses as well. So I just share these things to let you know what's possible. I want you to get inspired. I want you to get motivated. I want you to get excited about what your business is capable of and what you can accomplish if you really fix that mindset and start to adopt new beliefs. So I'm going to do some what ifs right now. So in challenging the belief, because beliefs can be good or they can be bad. If you have a belief that, what if I fix my lead flow, how would that change my business, right? Because what if the only thing holding you back from growth is your belief about what's possible in your business? So let me say that again. What if the only thing holding you back is a belief about what is possible about your business? Because whatever you believe, that's what the reality is. If you believe you can run a 6-figure plus business and beyond, that's what it will become. If you believe it can only be a certain level, if you believe that it has to be done by referrals, if you believe that it can only be a side hobby, whatever, it doesn't matter what the belief is, your belief becomes your reality, because your belief dictates the actions that you will take and the help that you will seek and the things that you will do to move your business forward. So I like what ifs. So what if you adopted a new belief? What if you could do this full time, right? Ask yourself these questions. What if I can do this full time? What if I can make 6 figures? How would that change your life? What if I fix my lead flow issue? How would that impact your business? If you close, industry standard is 30%, and that's with mix of new leads and referral leads. Referral leads, of course, close higher than that. But for 30 to 40% is industry standard. If you close at 5% or 10% stronger, how would that impact your business? Do the math on it, right? Fixing that one thing. What if you knew how to market like a real business? How would that frickin' transform your business? What if you knew how to market like on Small Business Saturday, Cyber Monday, Black Friday, holidays coming up, bucket list trips, there's so many different ways to market, but what if you knew what levers to push, what to pull, how to do it like the big guys do it, but on your level, how to compete in this online space? Because guys, don't get confused. Yes, you're a travel agent. Most of you are amazing travel agents. You just have a freaking lead flow problem, right? You're not getting the leads that you need to close and make your business bigger. If you had more leads, it would equal more abundance, and then you're happy, right? It's not like a complicated formula. But don't get confused about what your job is. Like back in the 90s, you show up at a call center, and yeah, I sold $1 million a year. Every year I was the first person ever that worked part-time, went to college, so I only worked 20, 25 hours a week and sold $1 million a year. But what was happening? You're getting calls in. Because the travel agency was doing the marketing. That was back old school. You have got to adapt your business for today's marketplace. What does that mean? It means you have to compete in the online space. You cannot just wear the hat of I'm a travel agent and sit back and wait for leads to come to you. That's why it takes forever, and that's why it's not moving as fast as you want it to, or you're frustrated and you're open up your computer every day and there's no leads there. Your job is also to be the owner of an online business. You are running an online business if you are a travel agency in today's market. And some people know how to do it really well, and some people don't know what the heck they're doing. And there's nothing wrong with not knowing what the heck you're doing, because we all started there. You either got the help that you needed to move things forward, or you're frustrated, or you're overwhelmed, or you quit at some point and you're considering coming back, or because it doesn't happen by like magic. Like, I'm all for Christmas magic and the magic of mindset and things like that, but unless you made a change to adapt your agency, it's fun because sometimes I work with agencies who really were in business back then, and I get a hold of them and they have this huge database, and I'm like, what are you doing for retargeting? What are you doing with this data? What are you doing with all this stuff? And their minds are blown, because they're like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what we needed to like compete in the online space. So understand, your job is not just to be an awesome travel agent and run a travel business. Your job is also to run an online business, which means you need to know how to be an online marketer. Right? And I get it. Like, you have a lot of hats to wear. You're already busy with understanding you get probably 50,000 emails a week, right? I know from the travel suppliers, we get them too. By the way, we own our own profitable, amazing travel agency. So it's not like I don't know what I'm talking about. We have our own agency, right? So I know you're getting 50,000 emails and you have to keep up with a million things. So you have to wear a couple of hats, but that's why so many people seek help with the business side of things, because you have to do both effectively to fix your lead flow. If you fix that lead flow, you fix so much in your business. So let's see on my list of here. What if automation, that's another one. What if you fixed your automation and you got 4 and 5 hours more back in your week that you could dedicate to marketing now? Then you know the marketing stuff and you can apply that towards your business. So, hey, Steph. Hey, Karen. Beautiful out there today. It is. You have to get your daughter outside, Steph. Oh, wait, she's sick. Don't take her outside. It's chilly here, but it's so, so beautiful. So I want to ask a tough question. And I really mean this from the bottom of my heart, but when did you stop? Because when you started your travel business, you were super excited, right? So when did you stop believing in yourself and your business? When did you stop believing in yourself and your business? And I only ask that because I'm challenging beliefs today. If we can get this stuff moved around, we're in Christmas season, right? So Christmas is the season of magic and miracles happening. I don't want to talk about the magic of Christmas. I want to talk about the magic of mindset. If you can fix these beliefs about yourself, about your business, and take different actions in the new year, you will transform your business. And a year from now, you'll look back and go, oh my gosh, the best thing I ever did was X, Y, Z. Because if you can eliminate the beliefs that are holding you back and adapt, I just got a leaf in my mouth. It's a live stream. You see what happens in live streams? Oh my gosh, let me take a drink of water. I'm super in the climax of my awesome message here. Outside, this is why I love freaking live streaming, right? So you never know what's gonna happen. Last week when we were doing the Thanksgiving one, my dogs were jumping all over me, so that was fun. All right, so I'm gonna try not to get another leaf in my mouth, but I want to invite you. I'm going to invite you today to adopt a new belief about what is possible in your business, about what your business and what you are capable of. If you can adopt that new belief, it is a great first step to kind of say, oh my gosh, have I been holding myself back with that belief? And look, I don't know you. This is all anonymous, right? But ask yourself, have my beliefs been holding me back? Do I have a belief that I can't run a 6-figure travel business? Do I have a belief that I can't grow? Do I have a belief? Because a couple of the people that I mentioned earlier, it did not take them 3 years to get to the 6-figure mark. Let's just say that, right? So it's one of those things that what you believe is so powerful. Because if you get your mindset adapted, it will literally change your landscape. So I'm going to invite you to adopt a new belief. Start challenging anything that's limiting and replace it with a new thing of what's possible, a new belief, a new thought, a new idea. Margie says, mindset is such a work in progress with me. It is with everybody, Margie. It's not, and it always will be. It's still with me. Like sometimes, like I work in the speaking world too, guys. So that's one of those things where I'll get offers and things like that. And sometimes I turn stuff down, but it's my mindset is kind of like, I want to do projects that are specific, right? But I can only do that because my mindset is clear in certain areas. But it always pops up. Like you always start doubting yourself, or you have a bad day, or you have a week with no leads. It's like, what's that movie that says there's no crying in baseball? Is that League of Their Own? I don't know. But I'm not saying, like, you can have an off day, let yourself feel that, that uncomfortableness, but then let it move you forward. So, check in with your mindset. Go back and say, what are my intentions with this business? What do I need to do? What do I need to tweak? What do I need to change to make a difference and to move forward? So, guys, listen, if you want to do these things to set your 2019 up to be the best year you're going to ever have. For those of you that have been following me a while, and you're like, oh, I've been watching the success stories. I resonates what I'm saying to you. I want to run my business like a real business. I'm done with this hobby stuff. I don't want to wait 3 years. Then apply to work with me in my mastermind program, right? careersonvacation.com/ready now. And we're already sold out for November. I think we're down to like last slots in December, but I only pick 120 people a year. That's it. And once those slots are gone, like they're gone. And we have a couple days left. I don't know if you saw the November promotion, but anyone that participates in the mastermind, you get a free workshop. You get to meet me in person, any of our workshops in the future where we're going to sit down and work on continued education, whether it's expanding out your YouTube, whether it's working on your specific marketing and branding. There's like 4 or 5 workshops that you can pick from that you can get totally free when you get into the mastermind program. So definitely only have a few days left before November, and then those are, rates are going up. So but here's the thing, even if you don't want to start until January, you can secure your 2018 prices and get the bonus, and you can still start in January, February. I don't care when you want to start. It depends on what your goals are. So at any rate, guys, this was such a fun session today. I'm all fired up now. But no matter where you guys are in your journey, I want to wish you so much love, so much abundance, and think about what we've talked about today with mindset. And the magic of mindset is real. Like, if your mindset is in the right place, that will move you forward 100% of the time. And yeah, so I hope you guys have a great week. Comment below if this information was valuable. Definitely do a like or a share on it, or a little love, just so I know that the content we're delivering to you on these free weekly live streams is valuable. Love you guys so much. We'll talk soon. Bye, guys. Welcome, everyone. I have the most amazing guest this morning. And if you don't know me, if this is your first time logging in, I'm Cindy Williams, a travel career coach, and my purpose is to help motivate and inspire people to follow their bliss into abundance. And I have the most amazing guest to help us do that today. Hal Elrod, international best-selling author, is on a mission to elevate the consciousness of humanity one morning at a time. And I have to give you props, Hal. I want to go through a few stats. You're the author of one of the highest rated books in the world, The Miracle Morning. I have my copy. I read this a long time ago. We reread it. It's so great. Has been translated into 27 languages, has over 4,000 5-star ratings, which we know is not easy to do, and is practiced by over 500,000 people, 70 countries. Wow, Hal, welcome this morning.
Thank you for having me, Cindy. This is fun.
It's so amazing. Before we get into talk, because we're going to dig in for our viewers are always looking for motivation, inspiration. We have a lot of people who work from home, right? They're solopreneurs or they're running their businesses from home. So before we get into all the fun juicy stuff, we always like to start, we work with travel communities, so we like to start by asking you about what is your best vacation you've ever taken in your life and why?
Yeah, it's a tough question because right, different ways to measure what makes a best vacation. And the vacation that I'm going to answer this with, my kids were not at, and that's where it's hard to say, well, was it really the
No, right?
best? Because my kids weren't there. But it was a few years ago. I got an email from my agent and said, hey, your French publisher would like to fly you out to Paris to do a media tour to promote the Miracle Morning. Would you be up for that? And I'm like, oh, yeah, but I can't go to Paris for my first time without bringing my wife. Can I bring my wife?
Right.
And they said, sure. And then I was telling a friend of mine, I just called a friend and I said, hey, we're going to Paris. My publisher's flying me to Paris. He goes, are they going to fly you first class, like lay down beds? And I go, I doubt it. I don't know. He goes, I would ask. I go, man, I don't want to, I'm grateful they're just going to bring me out. I don't want to push. He goes, never hurts to ask. They could say no, but they might say yes. Like,
right.
You're right. So after I'd already asked if they would fly my wife out there and put her up with me, I said, hey, I'm emailing, would you possibly, no, if not, okay. And they said, of course, and so they flew us out first class. Like, it was amazing. And, out to Paris. And it was a whirlwind where I had a team with me taking me from radio interview to TV interview to just for 2 days. And I had a translator with me the entire time with an earbud in. So which made it really weird in the interview, you get asked a question and then he would be telling, and so I'd have to listen to the person interviewing me and smile and, and then try to hear what they're saying while hearing what he's saying. And he's sometimes kind of messing it, he's trying to do his best. And then I've got to answer without it being, so it was just a wild experience. And it ended with a book signing at the famous bookstore in Paris. And that was the coolest part, was having hundreds of people stand in line with French accents saying, your book, it changed my life. And, and it's just so surreal to be across the world in another country, another language, right? And people telling me that this book that I wrote in my living room, right, I work from home too, made it overseas, and it's changing lives around the world. So that's what made it the best vacation.
What a beautiful experience. And you know what? Like, because we book travel so much, there is nothing that can replace that lay down seating, right? Like when you can sleep on because it's always an overnight flight when you go that direction. Yeah. So it makes the difference we tell our clients, like, yes, it's a few thousand more, but look, like, you can have jet lag for like 5 days, or you can like sleep on the flight over and reduce that pain and suffering on and so especially if your work, it's a we call that a bleisure, business and leisure vacation, right? Where you're doing some business and some leisure. So
yeah, and it does ruin you. Once you go lay down, you can't ever fly overseas. Once you see how wonderful it is to wake up rested, and it's amazing.
Or even into Hawaii, even coming from here in Texas. I know you're here in Austin too, but it's like going to Hawaii is kind of like, it's not that much more, like to like get there refreshed and that whole thing. So, sure. But it's so funny because every week my audience knows I always have a coffee mug, and usually we always ask our guests, like, where's your favorite? 9 times out of 10, because I've been all over the world, I can pull a coffee mug. So in,
beautiful. I love it.
So we have our Paris mug today. So my collection of hundreds of mugs. We don't have bowls in our house. We eat soup and salad out of mugs because we have mugs from all over the world. So awesome. Well, and I do want to get to Miracle Morning, but before we dig into that, I have to ask you about being hit head on by a drunk driver and dying for 6 minutes when you were 20. What happened and what did you learn from that?
Yeah, I was obviously that kind of experience is something that you never imagine would happen to you, right? I mean, it's something you see it on the news and you're like, you feel for the family or the person that went through it, and you change the channel and you're like, oh, thank God I can go to my normal life. And when I was 20, I was in sales. I was selling Cutco cutlery, and I was one of their top sales reps. So I was always speaking at all of their events, and I spoke at one of their conferences. And afterwards, driving home that night in my first new car, I just bought a new Ford Mustang with my hard-earned sales commission money, and driving home that night, a man I had never met before, a drunk driver, got on the freeway. He was in a big Chevy full-size truck, much larger than my little Ford Mustang, and I don't remember, people ask me, what happened? Did you swerve? Did you, and I don't remember that night really. But this full-size Chevy truck came barreling down the highway at 70 to 80 miles an hour. I had my cruise control set at probably 70 miles an hour, on the freeway, and he hit me head on. And the worst was actually not from the head-on collision. So we hit head on and it sent my car spinning, and then the car behind me crashed into my door at 70 miles an hour. And so if anybody's listening or watching, right, look over your left shoulder and imagine a car hits you at 70 miles an hour in your door. And as you might imagine, what could happen, the entire left side of my car smashed into the left side of my body, and the left side of my body was devastated. I broke 11 bones in a split second. I broke my leg, my femur broke in half. My pelvis was crushed between the center console, broke it in 3 places, broke my arm in half, my humerus behind the bicep, shattered my elbow, severed the nerve of my arm, crushed my eye socket. It's all made of metal now throughout. I've got metal rods in my arm, my leg, my eye, my elbow. And I died for 6 minutes at the scene of the accident. I was clinically dead and heart stopped beating. And I woke up from a coma 6 days later. I had flatlined 2 more times while I was in the coma. And when I came out of the coma, it was, waking up going, oh, well, I'm so, I was lethargic and I was in pain and I was in the hospital and I didn't understand why. And I had to face this unimaginable reality. And the doctor said I would never walk again was probably the hardest thing to process. And I think the greatest lesson that came out of this is that there's really 2 parts to it, or 2 or 3, I guess, depending on how you look at it. But it was, I made the decision to accept everything that I couldn't change. And this is the greatest lesson I've learned in my life, arguably, is that every negative emotion that we ever have felt in our lives or are feeling now or could ever feel has nothing to do with what's going on around us and everything to do with what's going on inside of us. In other words, it's our wishing and wanting that we could change something that's out of our control. It's our resistance to reality, in other words, our resistance to reality that determines the emotional pain that we feel. It's never the thing. We think, well, of course I'm upset. Look what happened. Well, no. That same thing happened to somebody else, and they accepted it. And they were at peace with it because they couldn't change it. So it's never the thing that we're pointing to that we think is causing the pain. It's always our resistance to the thing. And so I had that awareness through my Cutco training. I learned something called the 5-minute rule, which said when things go wrong, it's okay to be negative and feel bad or upset, but not for more than 5 minutes. There's no value in wishing you could change something and dwelling on it and putting negative emotional energy into it. And so literally in a matter of, minutes or, a day or so, I went, I can't change that I was in a car accident. So I'm not going to wish that I could. If I never walk again, I'm going to be the happiest person you've ever met in a wheelchair, because I'd be in a wheelchair either way. I could be miserable and blame my unhappiness on the fact that I can't walk, or I could be the happiest person that you've ever, again, that's in a wheelchair. And so I realized this, and the doctors, Cindy, I was so just like this. I was like, hey, everything's great. And the doctors thought I was delusional. They thought I was in denial because I was so happy. And they called my parents and they sat him down. They said, we're concerned with Hal, his emotional state. We think that he's in denial and he can't handle what's happened to him. He can't accept his new reality. And my dad came in and sat down and he said, hey, the doctor said you're not acting normal. You should be sad, scared, angry, depressed. These are the normal emotions that you should be going through. And they think that you're covering the emotions up. Hal, how are you really feeling? It's okay to feel this way. And I feel this way. And I said, Dad, I thought you knew me better than that. I live my life by the 5-minute rule. It's okay to be negative, but not for more than 5 minutes. It's been 2 weeks since the car accident. And I told him what I just told you, which is, that's the first time I said that, is I said, Dad, if I'm in a wheelchair the rest of my life, I promise you, I'll be the happiest, most genuinely grateful person that you've ever seen in a wheelchair, because I've decided that whatever my life is from here on out, I'm going to appreciate every part of it, And whether it's a car accident, or it's losing our job, or it's losing a loved one, or it's just little things like traffic, right? When we're in traffic, we can go, well, I can be upset and stressed over this, or I can be at peace with the fact that I can't change the speed of the cars in front of me. It's this universal lesson that we can be free from emotional pain. I call it emotional invincibility. And we do that by consciously choosing to completely accept and be at peace with everything out of our control. while we focus only on the things that are in our control. And, and I think the part of that is being grateful for all of the things that we have, while we accept all the things that we can't change, and we work on changing the things that we can.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love so many times people give themselves a guilt trip, or like I always tell like our clients who are working on that big mindset piece is you have to allow yourself to break down before you can break through, even if it's at 5 minutes, or just realize like this is where I'm at. But like there's no good in like worrying about it, getting stressed about it, putting all the extra pressure, or like the solopreneur thing. Our audience struggles a lot with, why can't I figure this out? Why can't I get there? Why can't I make whatever happen in my world? So I love that kind of like sit in that place of acceptance. And then I love that. That's great. So amazing. So when you kind of, your journey from there, you did walk again. So that's amazing. And then, so do you think that having that mindset really helped you escalate that process of healing and attracting this, recovery into your story?
Yeah, I absolutely do. And it's funny, whenever I give a keynote speech and I tell the story and I tell kind of what I just talked about, I say, look, I don't have a graph that shows how my bones healed in alignment with my positive attitude, right? Like I don't have that graph. I just have a picture that 1 week after the doctors called my parents in and said, we're concerned with Hal. We think he's in denial. He may never walk again, and he needs to, I'm sure he's covering up these emotions. 1 week after I had that conversation with my dad, I said, Dad, I'm at peace with whatever happens. And here's what I told my dad, by the way, this is an important part. I said, Dad, there's only two options, in my opinion. Number one is the doctors are right and I'll never walk again. And that's when I told him I'll be happy in a wheelchair. That's my life. I said, but there is a second possibility, Dad, and I don't know if it's even possible, but it is a possibility, and that is that I will walk again. And I don't know if, I don't know when, but I've accepted the worst case scenario, and of course, you could probably think of a worser case scenario, but I've accepted that I may never walk again. We'll call that the worst case scenario. But all of my energy, now that I've accepted it and I'm at peace with it, I don't worry about it. There's no negative energy that goes into that. I said, all my energy is focused on possibility number two. I imagine walking every day. I visualize it. I think about it, while simultaneously being at peace with it may not happen. I think that's a really hard thing for people to do. But
the duality, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like the more we want something, the more we have this mindset that it goes, well, if I don't get it, I'm going to be devastated. I'm going to be so disappointed. It doesn't have to be that way. It can be like, I want this more than anything in the world, but I understand there are many different possibilities, and things don't always go, our expectations aren't always met, and a lot of times it's a good thing, as Garth Brooks sang about in like the 90s. I think some of God's greatest gifts are unanswered prayers, right? So a lot of times something doesn't go right and you're like, all right, maybe it's meant to be or whatever. But so that's it. It's accepting what you can't change while you focus our energy on what you want, simultaneously accepting beforehand that it may or may not go according to plan, and you just keep pivoting and adjusting.
Yeah, that's that letting go and trusting process. And that is the hard, you are right. Like that's the hardest piece for people trying to, because they push for something that they want, but getting in that place where I'm grateful for what I have today, and everything is everything, and reality is relative, and it's going to be okay no matter what. I promise you. But here's what, and where you put your energy is what I really firmly believe you attract in. Sure. So it's like, I'm here where I am now. It is what it is, but I have this vision, and that's where the energy goes. And so what shows up in your life, right? So I love it. That's amazing. Let's talk about the Miracle Morning. I know everyone's like waiting, right? So this started as a best-selling book. That was like its entry, right? Best-selling book, became a worldwide really movement. And it's practiced by over 500,000, 500,000 people a day are waking up with these secrets, this process that you teach. And did I hear right that they just made a movie about it?
Yeah, I'm the executive producer, whatever that means. That basically just means you write the checks to
right.
people that know what they're doing. I don't know what I was doing. I'm just like, oh, you're okay. You direct. Okay, you do the video, you do the audio, you do the set, right? But so yeah, we just finished a movie, or it's like this close to being done. It actually debuted in Sedona at the Illuminate Film Festival. It was one of the featured films, which was really cool. And
That's
we actually it
amazing.
was a not quite finished version that we got ready in time. And then the movie I don't know exactly when it'll debut, but yeah, it's a documentary. It follows my journey of sharing the Miracle Morning, and then we go around the world and interview. Mostly in the U.S. actually, but it went on that Paris trip. My filmmaker was there following us around. But we go around and interview some world-class individuals, from athletics to CEOs to authors and you name it, about their morning rituals, and look at kind of go beyond the book and go even further.
I love it. I love that so much. And one of the things, like, because I'm a firm believer, like, get that, some people call it hour of power. Yours goes way more in depth than that. But taking that time to set your intention for the day and getting yourself, like, when I launched my travel empire, the only way I could do it, because I had another business at the time, was working full time, was if I got up and did that hour before the kids got up, before my husband even got up, and had that time to do the things you talk about in this book. And that's why it happens so fast, because it's like, if you're dedicating that hour every day towards something you're working on, I love that. But what do we do for the people that are like, look, I'm not a morning person? What do you tell those people?
Yeah, so that's what held me back for a lot of years from writing the book. Is I thought there is such a strong narrative in our head, and it's a limiting belief that says I'm not a morning person, because we've never been a morning person. And I, in a way, I blame that on our parents. Not really. It's not. Well, here's what I mean: is that as kids, we're woken up against our will, right? Like, very few of us are like, "Hey, mom, will you wake me up early so I can go to school?" Right? No, every morning. I mean, if you have kids, right, it's that struggle: get out of bed, right?
Yeah.
And so, because of that, we develop, as we're young and our brains are forming, this resistance and resentment to waking up early. And you think about it, I mean, what kid, if given the chance, won't sleep as long as they possibly can, right?
Right.
And so that's what happens our entire childhood. And then it gets even worse, because we turn 18, maybe we leave home, and now it's like, oh, I don't even have to wake. I can sleep. Like, for me, I would stay up till 5 in the morning and play. My first year of college,
Yes.
I would stay up till 5 in the morning, play video games, and then sleep till 10, and then go to school at 11. You know what I mean, right? So it got even worse. And so that's why now I survey. So that's what held me back from writing the book. Is I thought, well, how am I going to break that narrative? And I believed I kept sharing the Miracle Morning with one person at a time during a speech, this and that, and the results were, Hal, I wasn't a morning person before you taught me what you taught me, and now, like, I applied it, and the next day I became a morning person, and it's like it's changing my life faster than I ever thought possible. And because I kept hearing that, I went, I have a responsibility to share this with the world. I have to write this. But it took me 3 years to write the book and get over my own insecurities and issues with, is anyone going to read it? And, what am I going to do? And a couple of years ago, someone asked me during an interview, what percentage of those, and it wasn't 500,000 back then, it was probably 100,000 people doing it. But they said, what percentage of those people were already morning people before they read the book? So it was easy. They just were like, oh, cool. I'm going to, instead of checking email in the morning, I'm going to do the Miracle Morning, right? That sounds better. And what percentage of them were not morning people? So it was a radical, like, oh my gosh, I've never been a morning person. I don't know if I could do this. And I didn't know the answer. So I surveyed our community, which is in the hundreds of thousands. And I was blown away. 72% said I had never been a morning person my entire life until I read the Miracle Morning and I applied the strategies, the process, etc. And there's an entire chapter that's the shortest chapter in the book. It's 4 pages.
Yeah.
It's called the 5-Step Snooze-Proof Wake-Up Strategy. It's for the recovering snoozeaholics. It's probably the most important chapter in the book. It's the linchpin. It's literally those 4 pages teach you, even if you've never been a morning person, even if you believe you never could be a morning person, you've tried before, it's never worked, those 4 pages teach you a simple 5-step process to beat that snooze button. And it's funny because those were like, that almost didn't make it in the book. That was towards the end. And I believe if it wasn't for that little chapter, I think people would be fired up on the Miracle Morning, like, wow, this could change my life, but they wouldn't know how to overcome that limiting belief that I'm not a morning person. So in short, if you're thinking, I'm not a morning person, I don't even know if I want to be a morning person, join the club. I wasn't a morning person, and hundreds of thousands of people that now do this they've said I was never in my life a morning person before, I read the Miracle Morning. So
yeah, and you know what's crazy? So we do, we have a coaching program called Careers on Vacation. A lot of times we do free consulting calls to help people get clear on their goals. You know what the number one thing is that people tell us, that when we say, what's your ideal day? Like, what would you like your perfect day to look like? Like 8 out of 10 tell us, I just want to ease into my morning. Like they have that vision, but they haven't been able to like jump that gap of making that happen, because what do? We get up and we're immediately like, oh, the kids need this and blah, blah, blah. And, or like you said, you go right to email, which if you're going to email, you're kind of like a slave to your environment, instead of like you setting the tone and setting your intentions and getting clear on what you need to accomplish. Like this is way back like 90s when they trained you on time management training, right? But it's like, don't start with the email. Don't start with that. What are you going to accomplish today? And then you block the time for the whatever. But it's kind of like setting that, so people want that, whether they know it or not. That's what they want. They want that time to get clear, that time to stay focused. And I think, like you said, try it, join the club, because the minute you start seeing the results within a couple weeks, the minute you start feeling better, the minute stuff starts changing and starts happening because of the small adjustment, we're talking 1 hour, like commit to it for a few weeks and watch what happens, right? So I love that. And I think this is such a great tool for especially those people that tell us, right? Like, how do I do that? How do I make that happen? So you're the boss of your life, right? So what do you see for the future of your community, for the Miracle Morning? What's on the landscape coming up?
Yeah, so what's interesting, you mentioned the community. So with the Miracle Morning, it started as my morning practice. Then I made it into a book, and I didn't expect it to be a movement. I didn't expect it to be a bestseller, let alone a movement, right? And now probably the most beautiful part of the entire Miracle Morning, the book, what it gave birth to, is this global community. And the home for the community is really a Facebook group called the Miracle Morning Community. And right now we have 180,000 people in there from well over 100 countries. And I think like 300 new people join every day. And it's all organic. I don't run Facebook ads. They just read the book and then they come in. Mm-hmm. And but it's the most beautiful, loving, human, supportive group I've ever seen. And not just about like the Miracle Morning's the focus, but I'll give you an example. We had a woman join. This was a while back, but this is one of my favorite stories. And there's thousands of examples like this. But she said, "Hey, I'm new to the group." She said, "This is my first post, and I kind of feel bad that I'm about to ask for something from you guys when I've never contributed anything." She said, "But I've been watching you, lurking for a couple weeks now, and I've never seen a more, supportive, loving community, the way you guys support each other." And she said, "My husband's going in for open heart surgery tomorrow, and I'm terrified of, the worst case scenario and what can happen. And I don't know where else to turn. I don't have a circle of influence of people that are really evolved and conscious and loving and supportive. And I would just, any thoughts or prayers, I would really, really, really appreciate. It would mean so much." And in 24 hours, less than 24 hours, she had 983 comments on her post of people saying they were praying for her husband. Now, again, this woman no one knew who she was, but this is the culture of the Miracle Morning community. And the mission, I think I don't know if you mentioned this or not, but my mission in this world is to elevate the consciousness of humanity one morning at a time, one person at a time. Yeah. And it's not through, I might have started it, but it's this community. And it's when you wake up every day and you dedicate that first part of the day, whether it's 30 minutes or an hour, to your Miracle Morning, you're elevating your own consciousness. That elevates the consciousness of every person that you come in contact with through your influence. And then that elevates the consciousness of humanity. And the future of that is, the most recent thing, we announced it yesterday in the Facebook group. You can actually go watch this video if you join the Miracle Morning community, is we do a live event once a year. We're actually doing it next month in San Diego. It's sold out. bestyeareverlive.com. It's the Best Year Ever Live event. And that's the most intimate aspect of our community, right? Of the 180,000 people, those are the 400 that fly in from around the world and spend days together, breaking bread and being in connection and loving on each other. And we have, for so many people, it's always, when are you going to do an event in Korea? When are you doing it in the UK? When are you doing it in Japan?
You're like, I
when
wish
are
I
you
could
doing it
clone
in India?
myself, right?
Yeah. And I'm like, and so me and my business partner have been brainstorming on this for years, and we finally figured out this way to do these regional events, and we're gonna launch that over the next few months. So if you go to miraclemorning.com, you can opt in and you can get on my newsletter and get the free chapters of the book and a video training and an audio training and all these free bonuses. And then we're going to send a survey out in the next few weeks that says, hey, where do you live? Do you want to be part of these regional events? And they're going to be a really low cost way just to cover the cost. We're not looking to make a big profit. I just want to make it so that the Miracle Morning community can actually come together in all these locations. They've been begging for it for like years. Yeah. And we finally figured out a way. We've trained over 100 facilitators that can go around the world and facilitate these events, because obviously I can't beat them all, Yeah. So that's what. So what's next is these regional events. The movie's coming out. The Miracle Morning for Couples book, I'm editing right now. That's coming out on Valentine's Day 2019.
Nice.
We have a lot of different stuff in the works, but yeah, those are the big ones.
Oh my gosh! Well, you are totally knocking it out of the park, and I think you're hitting your mission, right? Like elevating the consciousness in all these different ways, and just like you said, it snowballs. Other people, and then they adopt it, and then they share it, and it's what a beautiful thing. Like, and from that seed of, I'm not sure anyone will read this, to where it is today. Like, Get out of your own way and make your life, just let your life unfold. What a beautiful journey. Yeah, so Hal, tell everybody, it's almost Christmas time. So for everybody, go out and get Hal's book. Where's the best place to get it, Hal?
Amazon is probably the best place. I think you can get it at Barnes & Noble. I don't know. We had some weird issue recently where I'm not sure if it's available at Barnes & Noble, but Amazon for sure. And you can get paperback. You can get Audible, you can get the Kindle, right? So whatever format you like, but Amazon is the best place to get it. And I did always, I think I even say this in the book, but I kind of joked. I said the Miracle Morning makes every morning feel like Christmas. And when the first Christmas rolled around that the book came out, I'm like, this is the only book you could get somebody for Christmas that makes every day
feel like Christmas
forever.
Yeah, that's like in your first chapter, right? And I have my beautiful copy, which Hal signed for me, which is amazing. So I'm going to throw out to our audience as well, anyone who sees this video and shares this live stream, we're going to pick from that group and we'll give away a copy of Hal's book. I'll send it to your home via Amazon. So share away. We'll run it, let's say, till the end of November. Let's share. Let's continue with the snowball effect. So cool. Hal, thank you for joining us so much, taking time out of your amazing day. And we wish you all the best in the future as you move forward. The whole Careers on Vacation, Cindy Williams team, anything you need, you let us know. We're cheering for you, rooting for you, and everybody, go get this book. It'll change your life, right? So thank you, Hal. Much love.
Thank you, Cindy. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Have a great day.
We'll talk soon. Bye.